Hi, it's Lee Reeves with CountingWorks Pro with another product update. Today, I'm going to talk about the latest feature with Max AI Assistant. If you're familiar with our product line and you're a current subscriber, you've already seen the deep dives that we've added to all of our blog feeds. We've now taken that same technology and allowed our users to create custom podcasts, custom blog, reviews, deep dive conversations, or even use it for, any sort of two-way conversation, right? A couple different use cases, create a summary of a client's tax return, extract key information, deliver it to them in a digestible format for my clients to understand, add an FAQ. So here's an example here that I just created. I uploaded a sample tax return. I gave it a prompt. I asked it to add the FAQ. It then extracted the data from the tax return, added some FAQ for me, added a conclusion. And then you'll notice down here on the bottom now there's a generate podcast. If you click on it, we have a couple different options here. One is if you've already cloned your voice, you'll see your voice in the dropdown. We are going to add it so that all staff members that are part of your workspace will be able to see other voices, so you could have basically a two-way conversation with someone else on your team, right? Obviously, we have a ton of different options here for you to choose from. If you record your own voice, you just hit record your own voice, and you'll read a script. Use a real high quality microphone. The cloning so far, I think, is really good. At some point, we're going to get some high fidelity versions that are going to be even a little bit better, but we're working on that now in on the staging server. So one other option you'll see is you can have a two-way conversation about a topic, or I could just make it a one-way conversation. But if and I did this earlier, so I created a one-way conversation. When you click on generate podcast, a progress toolbar will come across. It takes 1 minute to 5 minutes so far. I haven't seen anything much longer. We do max the size of the files to 20 minutes currently in our current version. We're still experimenting with this. We're trying to get a general idea of how much usage we're going to get. But from this point of view, here's the generate the tax return. I'll just go ahead and play this
podcast. I'm your host, Lee Thomas. Situation in a way that's both informative and easy to understand. $3. With other taxes adding up to $9,596. After accounting for payments of $5,000,
I'm just going to go up to the tax planning strategies.
Not only do they provide a sense of giving back, but they can also be deductible, offering a dual benefit. For those with children, education credits can be a valuable resource, potentially reducing tax liability if they qualify for future schooling expenses. Lastly, investing in energy-efficient home improvements might provide tax benefits through energy tax credits, a win-win for both the environment and your wallet.
So I think you're getting a general idea where we're going with this. I'll give you a couple other use cases. Maybe you want to create a detailed FAQ, analyze common client tax questions. You might want to record audio instructions for client onboarding, making the process more interactive. That's where you can have either the AI voices or some clones. You can produce a full-on podcast. So you could have your AI Max helping the assist of the scripting, recording, and basically creating the audio file. You could also automate client communications, sending personalized follow-up messages or tax tips. There's a lot of different ways to do this. Once you have the files, you have three options here. You can download, use it however you want on your local drives, share with clients in other ways. You can generate embed code. This is where you can put this on your website if you had created a podcast, and or you can share to the client hub. So this is where you can share this tax return overview, for example, directly with a client. It will be in our secure portal, so any of the information obviously is not public and is protected by our firewall. So we're hoping to continue to expand on this. This is version 1. We're also interested in all the different use cases you guys might use with this deep dive technology. We are iterating. I'm not going to say quite daily with this, but we are fine-tuning the inputs and outputs. We're doing some things in the back end to kind of get it some higher quality. But we want you to just kind of open your eyes to, how could I use this? Perhaps today, when you share a tax return with a client, you just send them a tax return and say, hey, here's your tax return, review this. Now you could actually do a audio memo, basically, that talks about the tax return, tax planning, some options, perhaps gets another appointment from this, right? Or you're saving some time that you might have been doing an online meeting. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. We are adding in the next release a record that you could actually create a script And then we'll have next to this microphone, we'll have a new button. It'll be a little red button. If you click on that, that's where you could actually record your own version versus the AI doing it, and then have the same opportunities to share to Client Hub, generate embed code, or download. So we think there's a lot of different use cases here, again, to save you time. We're hoping that you will enjoy it. We look forward to hearing your feedback. But for now, that's the latest product update from the CountingWorks Pro and our wonderful tool, Max. Thank you very much.